Yesterday, the Americans brought in a record 3,800 fans to the barbershop in a home opener for the ages. Today, the battle for the Falls moves to the Canadian side. This home and home will finish up at George Taylor Field for the first ever PGCBL game in Canada. It's the Americans, it's the Ironbacks, it's PGCBL baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
That the ace of the Giant pitching staff that season was Niagara Falls native Sal Magley. A league low 2.71 earned run.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets 716-215-6161.
And where do you play?
We play right at Sal Magley, gorgeous stadium.
Set the 1-0 to Boyle. Is hammered to right field.
Go, baby, go, baby, go.
Come here,
go,
fence!
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome back to George Taylor Field for this game, the second of a home and home between the Americans and the Ironbacks. We got the managers down on the field. It'll be Will Cordero here serving as the Americans manager today. He co-manages the team with Paul Wolf, who is not able to make it today. And then the Ironbacks managed by Richard Griffin. They're conferencing with our home plate and first base umpires down on the field. I'm Andrew Roberts. I'll be your play-by-play broadcaster here for the entire season on the Americans Baseball Network. And it's been a great couple of games here for the Americans thus far. Still undefeated. A 2-0 start. Beat the Muck Dogs on Wednesday 10-8. And then against the Ironbacks, 10-8 in the first game. And then against the Ironbacks, a 7-4 victory yesterday in the home opener at Sal Magley Stadium. As I said earlier, over 3,800 fans at the ballpark for that one. But now the Ironbacks having their own home opener today. They are packing their stadium for the first time ever for these Niagara Ironbacks. So common experience to the Americans yesterday. We'll see if the team can show out in similar fashion for them here and please the fans in their home opener for the first time ever. This is the second season in existence for the Americans, but the very first here for the Ironbacks. So an interesting dynamic. Two very new teams, as I mentioned yesterday, two very locally built teams, a lot of local Canadians. I mean, Brock University plays here at George Taylor Field. They got a couple of Brock guys on the Ironbacks roster. And then the Americans, a lot of local guys on the American side of the Falls, SUNY Niagara players, Niagara University players, DeUville players, and a lot of them familiar with Sal Magley Stadium. So this is a battle all season long, 12 matchups to determine which side of the Falls is better at baseball, USA or Canada. But we mentioned the Niagara Falls undefeated record. Let's take a look at the PGCBL standings at large. Americans tied with the Newark Pilots for first place in the entire league at 2-0. Doubledays right behind at 1-0. They drew with the Pilots last night, 6-6 in the 10th inning. They called the game a draw. Tarp Skunks in fourth at 3-1. The Americans will play them Sunday and Tuesday, so exciting matchups ahead there. Muck Dogs at 2-2. They will resume play today after a rain out last night. And then the Pioneers, Ironbacks, and Red Wings in the basement. All winless teams thus far. Ironbacks will be looking for their first win right here in their home opener at George Taylor Field. So we'll have opening ceremonies and the first pitch underway here in just a moment here. Festivities were set to start here at 4:05 p.m. But while we wait, let's kick it to the Niagara Falls Americans lineup. Leading off in left field will be the switch hitter Grant Moore. And he is off to a very hot start, batting .571. Dalton Harper, the extra hitter tonight after catching yesterday. He is batting second Graydon Miller batting third, playing first. Harper and Miller, both second-year players here for the Americans. Nick Pass batting cleanup and catching for the second time. He caught Wednesday against the Muck Dogs. Paul Dolanto, the DH, batting fifth. Chris Cazaldo at shortstop for the second straight night will bat sixth. Evan Core batting seventh in right field. Saved a run last night with a cannon throw to Dalton Harper. Jake Hollins batting eighth in center field. Shane Perret, the third baseman, once again will bat ninth. And Connor Kiefer making his Americans debut. He's playing second. And a lot of familiar faces here in this Americans lineup. But the one debut tonight here for the Americans is Connor Kiefer. Connor Kiefer playing second base. He is a product of Division III Alfred State, and he had amazing numbers over at Alfred State in 2025. Batted .325, a 10.14 OPS, 5 homers, 36 RBIs, and he's going to mix in at second base and shortstop for the Americans. Also played for the Jamestown Tarpskunks in 24. Not as good of stats there, a 207 hitter, 559 OPS, but I mean a great senior year over at Alfred State should bode well for his performance here as a Niagara Falls American. Should mix in a lot at second and short. Notably absent from this starting lineup is Ian Huang. Had a .556 batting average through the first 2 games. He'll get the day off after 2 starts at second base. A little bit of a colder night on the field last night after a 4 for 5 beginning to his season. Went 1 for 4 with a walk in the second game, so now 5 for 9 overall for his .556 batting average. And just amazing to see what he's been able to do in those first 2 games for the Americans. And notably on this team, alongside all these local players for the Niagara Falls Americans, Robbie Nichols has a good relationship over with Panola College down in Texas. Brings in 4 current players and 1 incoming Panola player to these Americans this season. So that's going to be exciting to see Gazaldo among those Panola guys. There's actually a Panola player over on the Ironbacks side of things as well, Brock Granger. So he's been able to greet a lot of his college teammates here in this game. Granger will be on the bench today for the Ironbacks. Started last night's game and batted third, but tonight he will sit, may come in as a pinch hitter, as he did in the first game of the season for the Niagara Ironbacks. But nonetheless, a great contributor to this team, a Toronto Mets alum. That's a great program down in Ontario. An Americans intern, Teddy Yo, a former member of those Toronto Mets. So a lot of exciting things here. And we will take a break for just a moment here. We will be right back after these messages.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
We welcome you back in to George Taylor Field for this game between the Americans and Ironbacks, playing for the second straight day after the Americans won yesterday's matchup, the home opener at Sal Magley Stadium, 7-4. So now George Taylor Field having their own home opener today, and they are getting everything set. As you can see, got a little smoke machine over there, as well as a archway for Niagara Ironbacks players to walk through as they head in to the stadium. We'll pan it back to the fields right here in just a moment. My apologies for the camera problems here. But nonetheless, the Ironbacks getting ready to go for their home opener. And we'll take a look at the dimensions of this field real quick here. I mean, in left field and right field, only 320 feet. Dead center is 385. Americans players were getting excited about potential home runs here in this ballpark. And it's very fitting because at any home game, Johnny Ryan is proud to partner with their hometown team, the Giant Niagara Falls Americans, this season. Any American who hits a home run will receive a free case of Johnny Ryan soda. So I'll be excited to see if any of those happen today. But opening ceremonies starting here. We'll let you all take a listen.
Mal Romanen, the owner of the Niagara Ironbacks.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a very, very big honor for us to be there on this historic day, obviously. We've worked very hard to bring this product back to St. Catharines. It's been a long time since there's this kind of baseball, and excuse me. Whoop, I haven't slept in. I'm happy to be here. So this has been about a 2-year journey to get to this point. And we're so excited to be in this community, and with the help of Mr. Mayor Matt Sipsko, this wouldn't have happened without him. And we're excited for everybody to see elite baseball back here. This league has put 38 players in the major leagues in 10 years, and we hope to do the same effect. We plan to do that here. You'll see a lot of those players come through here. So we're happy to be here. Thank you. I'm going to introduce you now to Mr. Mayor Matt Sipsko, and he has a few words as well.
Good afternoon, everybody. Fantastic to be here. Great day. Oh, wow. Great day for baseball, right? Incredibly proud to be a part of this. I want to thank Mal so much for the work that he's put in over the last couple of years. And I want to thank the city staff that have made this a reality. Mal came and met with me last year, and I'll say, we had a long conversation. He knows I'm a baseball guy. This is my favorite sport. I was telling somebody, my idea of heaven is sitting right over there with a hot dog, popcorn, and a Coke watching baseball. And I said, listen, Mal, we're going to be there for you, but there's a lot of work between now and opening day. Well, it's opening day. So well done to Mal Romanen and the Niagara Ironbacks. I want to thank all of you that are here. 20 years from now, when we're talking about the guys who come through this club have gone on to long careers, everybody who's here will be able to say, well, I was there the first game. There'll be a lot of other people who were pretending they were here, but you were here. So from the city of St. Catharines, thank you for the support that you're giving off the bat. Let's build this into the best baseball in Southern Ontario.
At this time, we want to take a moment just to honor a true legend in our community, George Taylor. Please welcome the Taylor family, including Harold Moose Taylor and Shelley Brevet, to the field as we celebrate his incredible legacy.
It's it's very important for us to recognize those that came before us, and George Taylor's a legend in this community. If you don't know, George was the original groundskeeper here, and he was here making this field look beautiful when the St. Catharines Blue Jays and the Stompers played here. So that's why this name it. We have with us today his brother, Moose, who I understand in this park. We're happy to have you, Harold. He's going to kick this thing off. I'll turn it over to Harold.
I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thank you for the wonderful tribute you paid to my brother George and myself and my entire family. Thank you very much.
John, and we'll get this lineup started. Thank you.
Yes, okay, so please welcome the Niagara Falls Americans to the field.
This is the moment we have all been waiting for. Let the
All right, fans, it's time to meet your 2025 Niagara Ironbacks. Let's give a warm welcome as we introduce today's non-starters. Number 1, Kekeru Tasabuto. Number 2, Eli Thompson. Number 3, Ethan Wolf. Number 9, Caleb Seguin. Number 13, Derek Riseberry. Number 18, Jaden Corpan. Number 20, Brock Granger. Number 22, Caden Wilson. Number 23, Brad Alexander. Number 24, Nolan Phelan. Number 26, Jason J.J. Reynolds. Number 27, Chase Hubble. Number 28, Jax Curry. Number 44, Jack Kemp. Number 77, Aiden Bray. And number 98, Hunter Valentine. Today's pitching coach is Michael Nightingale, and the manager of your Niagara Ironbacks is Rich Griffin. All right, fans, it's now time to meet your starting lineup for the Niagara Ironbacks. Let's give them a big round of applause. At shortstop, number 5, Carter Shin. Designated hitter, number 15, Marcus Butts. In right field, number 25, Alex Keene. In the bullpen, catcher number 11, Connor Gatens. At first base, number 10, Andrew Bishop. At second base, number 7, Devan Mador. In center field, number 8, Keanu Cowley. At third base, number 19, Bryce Brederson. In left field, number 30, Grayson Briggs. And your starting pitcher, number 38, Ethan Catney Forbes. Okay, please rise if you are able and remove your hats for the playing of the American National Anthem. Now please remain standing as we honor our Canadian pride with the Canadian National Anthem, today performed live for you by Corey Veal.
welcome back in here on the Americans Baseball Network. We took a quick pause for the introductions of the Americans and Ironbacks, as well as the American and Canadian national anthems. But we will have baseball underway in just a moment here as the Niagara Ironbacks take the field. We'll introduce their starting pitcher. So today it'll be Ethan Catney Forbes getting the start here for the Ironbacks, and he is a Division I. He is a Division I pitcher, excuse me. So we got ceremonial first pitches down on the field, but a little bit of a struggle there in his first year at St. Bonaventure. 0-1, 14.9 ERA, and 6 strikeouts. So not quite the results that he would want to see over at St. Bonaventure, but could be a different story here in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, as he has the stuff to pitch in Division I. That should bode well against PGCBL hitters. He's a former Great Lake Canadian, a former Ontario Royal, so very familiar with the Canadian prep baseball cycle, as a lot of these guys are. So we're also hearing that J.J. Reynolds will most likely come out of the bullpen later today. It'll be his Ironbacks debut. And Reynolds over at Indian Hills Community College. He's had better numbers over there, but big difference between JUCO ball and Division I. So 2 solid, capable pitchers here for the Ironbacks expected to appear today. Still got some final announcements before the game, but we are going to play ball in just a second here as the Ironbacks and Americans rematch. Americans came out on top yesterday, but this time, just like it was the home opener at Sal Magley yesterday, it's the home opener here at George Taylor Field today, and plenty of Ironbacks fans here in the stands. Should be a much better atmosphere for the Ironbacks to play in, but the Americans are ready for this. They know how this team rolls. They were able to beat them yesterday. We'll see if they're able to do it for a second time today and move to a 3-0 record on the season, headed into their matchups with Jamestown on Sunday and Tuesday. That would be very nice to see. Americans will be back at Sal Magley tomorrow to take on the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. That one will be at 4 p.m. and will be broadcast as usual right here on the Americans Baseball Network. If you want to attend the game, you can also call 716-215-6161 to get your tickets for tomorrow's Americans game against the Tarp Skunks. And their second half of a home-and-home with Jamestown will come on Tuesday for an 11 a.m. first pitch down in Jamestown. But first here, it's the Americans, it's the Ironbacks, right here at George Taylor Field, as our pitcher and catcher, Ethan Catney Forbes and Connor Gatens, pitcher and catcher for the Ironbacks, warming up and getting ready to face the top of the Americans lineup, due up in this top of the first inning, Grant Moore, Dalton Harper, and Graydon Miller. Harper and Miller, second-year players here for the Americans. Grant Moore, arguably the hottest start on this entire Americans team, batting .571, a 1238 OPS, 0 homers but 3 RBIs. A product of Mount Vernon Nazarene University over in Ohio. So comes a long way here to Niagara Falls, but has fit right in with this locker room. On the bus, preparing a Snapchat group chat for the players today. So he's really been a leader in the locker room. He's bringing these players together. And today he's leading off the team as well. And he gets ready for the first pitch from Ethan Catney Forbes. That'll go catch the outside edge of the strike zone for strike one, as this game is underway here from George Taylor Field. And getting set for the 0-1 is Catney Forbes. Another swing and miss. That's 2 strikes on the board. Similar spots on those two pitches, but that time Grant Moore will bite. And 0-2 coming in. Grounded up the middle. And that'll hop past Devin Medore for the base hit. Grant Moore is on base to lead things off here for the Americans. First hit of the day, first base runner of the day. And that'll set the tone well as Dalton Harper comes to the plate. Harper looking for his first hit of the season, but had plenty of success in his first year as an American. Batted .269 with a .765 OPS in 2024. He caught yesterday, but will serve as the extra hitter tonight. Harper takes ball one high, runner goes, and we've got a steal at second base. Ball gets away. Grant Moore debating headed towards third, but he will hold up at second. The stolen base on ball one for the Americans. So Grant Moore getting on base quick. He's got some wheels. His hot start to the season has continued here at George Taylor Field. And the Americans have yet to score first in a game all season despite their 2 wins. Would be nice to see it here for them. That would set the tone even better than these last couple. Harper takes ball 2 outside. Americans were coming in with a mindset they do not want to play around here. They just want to blow this game open right away. As Harper gets ready for the 2-0 from Catney Forbes, checks back on Grant Moore. That's fouled back behind home plate, goes over all the stands into the home plate concourse. So a foul ball for strike one. Makes it a 2-1 count on Dalton Harper.
Be aware of the foul balls.
2-1. The 2-1 pitch on the way as Catney Forbes checks Moore again. He has a big lead. Fouled off into the gate behind home plate. So that'll even up the count for Harper. Nick Pass going to throw the ball back to the Ironbacks dugout. He's in the hole for the Americans with Grant Moore on second and nobody out. Harper getting ready for the 2-2. So foul ball siren here at George Taylor Field. Check back, and now the pitch. And that goes over the head of Harper. Almost hits him, but ball 3 as he has to duck that one. Gatens will come away cleanly with the catch, so no wild pitch there, but Dalton Harper with a full count on the second at bat of the game. Payoff pitch on the way from Catney Forbes. Forbes checks the runner again. That hits Harper. Similar spot that time. Catney Forbes won't be as lucky. 2 runners on as Harper takes first base to bring up Graydon Miller, fellow 2024 American, the first baseman for the 3rd consecutive night. And here's Miller with 2 ducks on the pond here for the Americans. Catney Forbes checks back, throws the pitch, swing and a miss by Graydon Miller for strike 1. Miller gets back into the batter's box. A .222 hitter so far this season, but batted .287 in 2024. Looking to get that average back up. Runners will go. The try at second is unsuccessful. It's a double steal for the Americans. So they've got 2 runners in scoring position, getting things set for Graydon Miller, looking to drive in the runner. So the 0-1 count here on Miller. That's way inside. Almost hits him again. You wouldn't want to have 2 hit batsmen straight. Catney Forbes struggling a bit in his first start here for the Ironbacks. J.J. Reynolds expected to be the first pitcher out of the pen, per source. The 1-1. Low. As Graydon Miller takes the outside low ball 2 on the 2-1 count here. So it's now in Miller's favor after an early strike one. Product of Drury University, as I said, has played 2 years for the Americans. Another inside ball. It's a 3-1 count. Or my apologies. That's ball 4 to load the bases. The ball also on the stolen base. So Miller will walk. Bases are juiced here for the Americans as Nick Pass, the cleanup hitter, comes up. We'll see if he can take that title to heart and clean up the bases here for the Americans. 400 hitter, so certainly a capable bat. Had a triple in the first game, but no home runs yet. Strike one down the pike on Pass. Pass doing the catching in this game for the Americans. Has started 2 of 3 games at the position. Dalton Harper was on second, the other catcher we've seen for the Americans. But that's strike 2 already on Nick Pass. So trying to capitalize with the bases loaded, but Ketney Forbes has something to say about that with 2 consecutive strikes on the batter Pass. Moore on third, Harper on second, Graydon Miller on first base. And here comes the 0-2 from Ketney Forbes. He delivers. That's in for strike 3. Out number 1 here for the Americans as Pass goes down looking with the bases loaded. So here comes Paul Delanto. Second straight night as the Americans DH. 500 hitter. Batted .450 in high school and has continued that success here in the PGCBL after limited opportunities with Stony Brook. His freshman year takes ball 1 above his head. So Ketney Forbes' command to the plate has been a little bit inconsistent thus far. Did have the strikeout, but some of those pitches have gone way on the, to paint the outside edges of the plate here. Ground ball picked up by Shin. Out number 1 at first, and the double play, no. Error on the throw by Medor will bring in the run. Runners remain on first and third, and the Niagara Falls Americans will take a 1-0 lead after the error by the Ironbacks.
Now batting number 42, Chris Gazaldo.
So Paul Delanto will reach on that. And strike 1 on Chris Gazaldo. As the run scores with 1, now 2 down, my apologies, for the Americans. Runners on the corners with Gazaldo up. He grounds it to Shin once again. Shin will get the out at second once again. So Carter Shin playing a good shortstop, wraps up the inning. We'll head to break and be right back for the bottom of the first. Lineup for the Ironbacks on the way.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We welcome you back for the bottom of the first. My apologies for some potential confusion on the score, but it is indeed 1-0. And we will be underway here for the Ironbacks. It's Carter Shin up first. We'll get you the full lineup in just a moment as Shin shows bunt. It's strike one. Shin steps back in to take the 0-1 pitch from our American starting pitcher, Austin Barton. The right-hander made 3 appearances out of the pen over at SUNY Niagara and struck out 3. Really his first time starting. That one flown into right field. And coming under it to make the catch is the right fielder, Evan Coors. So that'll be out number 1 on the Ironbacks.
Up next, the designated hitter, number 15,
and we'll
Marcus Butts.
show you their lineup real quick. It's pretty similar to yesterday. Shin will lead off, as you saw. Marcus Butts, the DH, batting second. Alex Keene, Connor Gatens, the 3 and 4 hitter. Andrew Bishop bats 5th and plays first. Devin Medor and Keanu Callie, the 7 and 8, matches their numbers. And then Bedrosian and Briggs, to round it out. So now Marcus Butts up to bat, takes a low ball 1. Butts a 286 hitter. Catcher went to Legacy. He's a catcher in addition to DH, and he went to Legacy High School before attending Mary University. And strike 1. So now the 2-1 count. So that one goes outside for the 3rd ball. And 3-1 pitch, and that'll be ball 4. Quick walk here for Butts, as we've got a runner on.
Next at bat, the right fielder, number 25, Alex Keene.
And here's Alex Keene coming up to bat with one on and 1 down. That one grounded towards the shortstop, or the third baseman, Prey, but the throw not in time. Runners on first and second on the infield single. So that'll be a hit for the Ironbacks. And now 2 ducks on the pond. In this bottom of the first. Here comes Connor Gatens. Keene just batted. Swing and miss for strike 1 on Connor Gatens, the catcher today. A 500 hitter. Good situation for him as Butts walked and Keene singled. Strike 2. So 2 quick strikes here on the righty Gatens from the righty Austin Barton. The pitch, that one will go outside, and we've got a ball on the board as Gatens tries to climb back into this at bat in the 0-2 hole. That'll go in for strike 3 called on Connor Gatens. So now 2 down, 2 on as Andrew Bishop comes up to bat.
First baseman, number 10, Andrew Bishop.
Here comes Bishop, the lefty, a 250 hitter. Batted .365 over at Georgia Highlands Community College, but .250 here so far for the Ironbacks, and playing first base today as he did in the Ironbacks opener at Jamestown. It's a little bit outside, but catches the edge of the strike zone for strike one. Grounded foul down the first base line. So another 0-2 hole. And Austin Barton 1 strike away from getting out of his first inning as a starter without any damage. Bishop sets, now Barton checks the runner at second. And a swing and a miss. That's strike three as we head to the top of the second inning after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Tickets are on sale now at Ironbacks.com or stop by the box office on your way out. Bring your friends and family for more unforgettable days like today.
It's confirmed. It's 2-0. I mean, I was confused because I didn't see the second runner come in. But yeah, there were two. Yeah, I thought there was a runner at third for some. I guess it was the coach or something like that. Yeah, it is 2-0. So there was a second run on the error. We welcome you back for the top of the second inning, and my apologies for the mistake. There was a second run that came in on the error in the top of the first inning. So it is 2-0 Americans. And this top of the second is brought to you by Bully Hill Vineyards, as well as the entire second inning. A great place to grab lunch and taste over 40 different wines. Go to bullyhillvineyards.com for more. So top of the second here from George Taylor Field, and the Americans actually scored 2 runs in that top of the first inning. Harper came in to score. So now it'll be the 7, 8, 9 of the Americans line up Core, Hollins, and Prey coming up to bat to face Catney Forbes in this top of the second after 2 runs allowed in the first inning. Evan Core batting .333 made his Americans debut last night. Takes strike one low. That catches the low end of the strike zone as Core gets back into position for the 0-1. As I mentioned earlier, made a great throw home to tag out a run at home on a crazy double play that looked much like a sac fly in yesterday's game, but today coming up for the first time, takes the ball outside to make it a 1-2 count as Catney Forbes returns to the mound after a brief step off. Core. That one way inside and hits him. And another hit batsman. We've got another runner on for the Americans to start off this second inning.
Now batting number 37, Jake Hollins.
And here comes Jake Hollins. The number 8 hitter has played center field in all 3 Americans games thus far. 889 OPS after a 2-run triple last night. Ball 1 outside on Hollins, as he has a runner on in the form of Evan Core at first base. Catney Forbes sets, delivers. Core goes, foul ball, so he'll have to go back. The count is even at 1-1 as the siren sounds once again. Fans need to be ready for that one. So here at George Taylor Field, a siren for every foul ball behind this gate that you see behind home plate. Thankfully not blocking too much of the action here as Core sets in with the 1-1 count. Evan Core hurrying back to first base as Catney Forbes checks the runner. Forbes looks again. Gets ready for the 1-1. That'll be grounded to Medora at second. Out at second base. Could they? No, yes, they get the double play. That was close, but in time for out number 2. And the base is now empty on the 4-6-3 double play. 2 down on these Americans. Shane Prey will come up to bat. Shane Prey played a great played a great third base last night. Made an early error, but recovered big time. A clutch throw to get Marcus Butts out and end the 8th inning last night. He takes strike 1 on the outside edge. But Prey also batting .333. Pinch hit in the first Americans game. Started last night and now starting again in an 0-2 hole. Catney Forbes 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Looks back now, delivers. Grounded softly to the third baseman. He throws across the field, and that'll be Bedrosian to Bishop for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the second after the break. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. We are back for the bottom of the second inning here at George Taylor Field. But this season, you can get yourself the latest Americans gear, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseballs, and much, much more. At all home games, you can stop by the merchandise stand, buy concessions for your Americans merch. But right now, we're here at George Taylor Field in the bottom of the second inning as Devin Medor comes up to bat for the Ironbacks, takes strike 1 on the low edge of the strike zone. Medor played a strong second base last night, got a couple steaming line drives from the Americans, playing second again. Drives that into right field for the base hit. second hit of the day for the Ironbacks and the first in the outfield. So, first runner on here in the bottom of the second is the second baseman, Bador. And here comes Keanu Cowley, center fielder for the third straight game here for the Ironbacks. I recognize this walk-up song. It's Crew by as Keanu Cowley in an 0-1 hole to start things off. Barton delivers on the second pitch to Keanu Cowley outside to even up the count. So now the 1-1 count. That song Crew by Goldlink, Brent Faez, and Shai Glizzy. And now the runner going, but a hit by pitch. It will not matter. Runners on first and second. So Keanu Cowley taking first base. It's the third total hit batsman in this game, but the first by Austin Barton. The other two by the Ironbacks pitcher Katney Forbes. So Bryce Bedrosian comes up with 2 ducks on the pond and nobody out. Bedrosian came in as a pinch hitter last night, but started third base in Jamestown on Thursday night, getting his second start here for the Ironbacks. Fouls the first pitch off behind him. And Bedrosian, product of Bismarck State, but he is a St. Catharines native, hometown hero here for these Ironbacks fans. He has the 0-1 count as both runners have a lead. Bit of a shift on him. That'll even up the count at 1. So runners getting their lead again as the Americans shifted slightly to the right here for Bryce Bedrosian. Fouled off for strike 2. Austin Barton has the edge in this at-bat with the 1-2 count. Umpire behind home plate confirms as Bedrosian steps back into the batter's box. A .385 hitter at Bismarck State, but still looking for his first hit as an Ironback. Barton delivers outside for ball 2. Wow, way outside. Looks like it was a little off target. He was hoping to curve that a little further inside towards the strike zone. And Bedrosian gets ready as the count is evened up. The pitch from Barton. They'll call that ball 3 outside to fill up the count. A walk here would load the bases in this second inning. Barton, this would be the toughest jam he's seen yet as an American. In just 2 innings thus far, though. Full count, swing and a miss. And Barton recording his 3rd strikeout of the day. And here comes Grayson Briggs, the left fielder for the Ironbacks. Batting .500 so far this season. In just 1 game, did not play last night. So this is the first time the Americans will see him. Doesn't mean there's not familiarity with him, though. His brother plays for... his brother plays for the Scarborough Stingers in the Canadian prep baseball cycle, but ball 1 taken right there. Now the count evened up. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Grayson Briggs. Barton gets set for the 1-1. Runners have a lead once again. Strike 2 fouled off. Scoreboard very faint here at George Taylor Field, but we've got you here on the broadcast scorebug. And here's Briggs Readying for the 1-2 pitches. Barton checks the runner. Ground ball, foul. And Barton with a lot of off-speed pitches so far today. Grayson Briggs steps back into the batter's box, looking to climb out of this 1-2 hole with 1 down and 2 ducks on the pond. The shift once again on Briggs. They've done that with a lot of these Ironbacks. Lefties, fly ball into left field. Will drop for the base hit. And that'll load up the bases for the Ironbacks. Their 3rd hit of the day. Just drops slightly in front of Grant Moore. It's back to the top of the order now for the Ironbacks. Carter Shin will come up for the 2nd time today. A 9-batter lineup today for the Ironbacks. It's kind of funny. The Americans and Ironbacks switched places with the amount of batters in their lineup compared to yesterday's games. Ironbacks taking a batter out to go back down to 9, and the Americans adding an extra hitter for the first time this season, as Will Cordero and Paul Wolf took care of today's lineup after last night's game. Just one minor change this morning. The inside pitch goes for ball 1. On the leadoff hitter, Shin. Shin was retired his first time up, so 0 for 1 on the day. Up the middle, fielded by Gazaldo for out number 1. Will they get out number 2 at first? Yes, it's the double play to wrap up the inning for the Americans. We head to the top of the 3rd after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We bring you back for the top of the 3rd, and this 3rd inning is sponsored by Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union, by Geico of Buffalo, Sammy's Pizza, and McDonald's. Get the new snack wrap starting July 10th. And at all home games, fans can get a free McCafe Frap with 3 Americans runs. Hence this ad in the top of the 3rd inning, but Katney Forbes will keep going here for the Ironbacks. Gave up 2 runs in the first, but he had a smooth sailing 2nd inning. And in this 3rd inning, he will face the number 10 hitter for the Americans in Connor Kiefer, making his Americans debut. Also due up, Grant Moore and Dalton Harper, the top 2 in the Americans lineup. Top of the 3rd inning, we'll start off with the long-awaited debut of Connor Kiefer. The shortstop slash second baseman will play second today, product of Alfred State. And a .325 hitter with an OPS over 1,000, 1014 over at Alfred State, but making his debut as a Niagara Falls American. Pitch from Kiefer low for the ball. So taking ball 1 is Connor Kiefer. Swing and a miss, and the count is evened up. As the Americans hold on to this 2-0 lead, hoping to expand on it. Katney Forbes back into position to pitch. Kiefer with the bat over his shoulder, flies that one into left field. Going to end up being more of a pop-up foul. My apologies. So now 2 strikes on Kiefer in his first at-bat as an American this season. Jamestown Tarpskunk in 2024. He will see his former team tomorrow as well as Tuesday. Kattni Forbes looks back, now delivers on the 1-2. Flown now into left field. Chasing after it is Briggs to make the jumping catch. And that's out number 1 on Kiefer. It was a nicely hit ball, but Briggs was there to make the grab. And it's back to the top of the lineup with Grant Moore, the Americans' own left fielder. He led off this game with a single to increase his batting average, which was already at .571 headed into this game. He has had multiple hits in each of the first 2 games, looking for multiple here. Down the first base line, foul. That could have been another hit if it just went a couple inches closer to fair territory. So Moore, the second batter up in this inning. First one was Connor Kiefer, who flew out to the left fielder for those of you just joining us. The outside for ball 1, rather. Pitch from Kattni Forbes is outside for ball 2. And Grant Moore has the count in his favor after singling to lead off this game. We'll see if he can do it again or if he'll stay patient with the hitter's count. Fly ball up into center field. Will it drop? Yes, it will, between 3 fielders. Madore, as well as Cowley and the right fielder, Alex Keene, all chasing after it. But we've got a runner on for the Americans, Grant Moore, with his second straight single. And officially, 2 singles, or rather 2 hits in every single game as an American for Grant Moore these first 3. Very impressive start to the season. Dalton Harper steps in, and he got on base for the first time earlier. Now Moore will steal second for the second straight time. So Grant Moore, 2 singles, 2 steals. On the outside, ball 1 on Dalton Harper. Harper steps back in. Kattni Forbes checks back briefly on Grant Moore, has a lead once again, looking ahead towards third potentially. Upstairs for ball 2. And stepping back into the batter's box is Harper. Caught last night's game, now the extra hitter. Kattni Forbes checking back again. Almost hits him for the second time today. Dalton Harper, for those of you who are not watching, was hit by the pitch his first time around. And almost grazed a second time. 3 balls on him. The walk here would make it first and second. And Moore is taken off towards third. And the throw not in time. Moore now on third. He's stolen 2 bases in this at-bat alone. And Kattni Forbes throwing over to third, but just a little bit off the bag. The third baseman, Bryce Bedrosian. So Grant Moore has had 3 steals in just today's game as ball 4. Or that'll be ball 3 rather, but that going inside. Pitch from Kattni Forbes. Fly ball in foul territory, will not be catchable. Heads towards the grass outside the gates of the stadium. And stepping back in the batter's box with the hitter-friendly count is Dalton Harper. Catney Forbes has a clear view of Grant Moore. Already has a lead on third. Another one inside. That'll be ball 4. So Harper will walk to make it runners on the corners for Graydon Miller. And Miller had 2 runners on his first time up. He'll have it again. Miller, his first time around, a walk. And Graydon Miller keeps his batting average for now at 222, hoping to get that up right here. Way inside, almost hits him again. Catney Forbes has really thrown a lot of those pitches towards the right batter's box, so those righty hitters have had to duck and dodge all day long. Graydon Miller with the 1-0 count, lead at first base by Dalton Harper. Swing and a miss to even up the count. So Catney Forbes finding his command back a little bit here. Steps back as the first base umpire looks on behind him. The 1-1. Catney Forbes delivers another one way inside. So now the count in Miller's favor. Two-one pitch on the way from Catney Forbes as Harper gets a bit more of a lead. Foul ball to even it up. And now the 2-2 count. On Graydon Miller, who walked his first time up. Has runners on the corners, looking to get on for the second time today. Gets away from the catcher, Gatens, and taking second is Dalton Harper. So the wild pitch will fill up the count and make it 2 runners in scoring position for Graydon Miller, who steps back into the batter's box, getting ready for the payoff pitch from Ethan Catney Forbes. He's already given up 2 runs, now in trouble even further, but strike 3 in there. In the low inside corner, Miller goes down looking to make it 2 down for the Americans with 2 runners in scoring position. Nick passed. The last hope here to drive in these runners, otherwise the Americans will leave 2 on base and will be unable to expand on their 2-run lead. Pass catching for the second time here for the Americans, product of Eastern Florida State College. Batted .220 over there, but has exceeded that thus far as an American. Was .400 coming into this game, has dipped to .333 after this one. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Pass takes strike 1 on the outside edge. Ump had no doubt about that one. Catney Forbes has runners on second and third to worry about, but throws the 0-1 pitch. That'll be past the second baseman, Medor, for the base hit into the outfield. 1-run score, second one coming in time. The throw was there, but the tag not coming in time here, and it's now 4-0 Americans as they double their lead on the 2-run single by Nick Past. So Past drives in 2 more runners for the Americans. That doubles his RBI total on the season to 4. And Paul Delanto will come up now with the runner on first. 2 down as the Americans capitalize on their runners in scoring position in this top of the third. That one fouled off behind Delanto into the stands, alarms sounding. And some activity getting going in the Ironbacks bullpen. Can't quite see the number, but appears to be J.J. Reynolds, who was expected to be the first one out of the pen here today. And into the batter's box comes Paul Delanto as the ball comes back into the glove of Catney Forbes. The pitch in this top of the third, outside for ball one. And Delanto will motion to pass on first to hold up. He believed that would have been an easy out had Past tried to take off. As the count evens up, Delanto with a smart gesture over to his teammate. They'll check the runner at first again. He's safe. Hurries back to first. Delanto, a Division I player out of Stony Brook. Did not play there freshman year, but great player in high school. Great player so far for the Americans, but takes strike two. Towards the line to the left batter's box, but well in the strike zone there. Even though Delanto won't bite. 1-2 pitch. We'll see what Delanto does with it here. Catney Forbes will take timeout. So uses his timeout right there. And then gets ready after checking Past at first to throw the 1-2. Goes far outside for the ball. Catches some dirt as well. And a dirt cloud really filling up around home plate right now. On the contrary to Sal Magley's turf field, this is a true grass field here at George Taylor. Swing and a miss. And down goes Paul Delanto to wrap up the inning. Catney Forbes gives up two, but also strikes out two. We'll head to the bottom of the third after this.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Bottom third here in just a moment. But fans, did you know American season tickets are just $99? Come be a part of the fun this summer at Sal Magley Stadium. Stop by the concession stands and pick up your season tickets today to be a part of this historic season in Niagara Falls. Starting out tomorrow as the Americans will host the Jamestown Tarp Skunks for their second game at Sal Magley Stadium. And due up for the Niagara Ironbacks is Marcus Butts, Alex Keene, and Connor Gatens. Marcus Butts got on base his first time up.
Coming up, designated hitter number 15, Marcus Butts.
He was able to do that with a walk in the first inning. Butts, the DH for the second consecutive night for the Ironbacks. He caught the opening game on Thursday against Jamestown. But Butts, a .286 hitter, .572 OPS. No homers and 1 RBI. As Barton delivers on the first pitch. Foul back. And Pass will chase after it, but there's no need. That's to the foul side of the third base line as it dribbles down there. But he'll give the ball back to Austin Barton as Butts has the 0-1 count on him in this bottom of the third. Inside, but catches the strike zone. So now the 0-2 hole for Marcus Butts. Barton product of SUNY Niagara here with a handful of teammates outside for the ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes as the umpire behind home plate confirms. Austin Barton looking for a 3rd consecutive scoreless inning. The pitch, a soft one in foul territory. Miller chasing after it, diving to make the catch. And that's out number 1. A sliding catch by Graydon Miller on the foul ball. As Butts goes down, Keene comes up. Had an infield single his first time around. But now coming up with 1 down and nobody on for the Ironbacks. Alex Keene came into this game batting .286, brought that up a little bit with the single here, but takes ball 1 outside. As the Americans will use only a slight shift here on Keene. That catches the outside edge of the strike zone to even up the count. And stepping back into the batter's box, Alex Keene, the Moorhead State product, over a 300 hitter over there. That's Division I, folks, so very talented player, and he has a hitter's count as ball 2 goes outside. All 3 pitches going in a similar spot near the edge to that righty batter's box. Fouled off down the third base line, flying into the stands to even up the count. So Barton gets his 2nd strike as Keene bites on the foul ball there. 2-2 pitch. Goes down the middle, grounded to Kiefer. Kiefer to Miller for out number 2. Connor Kiefer making his mark at second base in his first game as a Niagara Falls American. It's interesting because he played a lot of outfield for the Tarp Skunks last year, but naturally more of a middle infielder. That's what he did at Alfred State. That's what he'll do here for Niagara Falls. And Connor Gatens comes up with 2 down here for the Ironbacks. Barton throws the first pitch. Breaking ball outside for ball 1. Catches the low outside corner. Barton, quick communication with his catcher, Nick Pass. That one, a similar spot, catches some dirt. It's a 2-0 count on the curve to Connor Gatens. 4-0 lead for the Niagara Falls Americans on the exact same number of hits as the Ironbacks. They've just been able to capitalize on their runners on base to a much greater rate. Way inside for ball 2, or ball 3 rather. The Americans, my apologies, it's 4 hits for the Americans, 2 by Moore, 1 by Pass, 1 by Delanta. That's in there for a strike. So just one more hit than the Ironbacks, though, and 4 more runs. Up the middle into right center field. Coming under it is Evan Core to make the catch. Ironbacks go down 1-2-3. We head to the 4th inning after the break. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. This 4th inning is sponsored by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 237, by Johnny Ryan, and by Coca-Cola. Get all your Coke needs at the concession stand at Sal Magley all season long. So the Americans have a 4-0 lead. They'll look to expand on it in this top of the fourth. And due up for them is Gazaldo, Core, and Jake Hollins. Ethan Catney-Forbes for now will hang in there as the pitcher here for the Ironbacks. He started this game, has given up 4 runs in 3 innings, so his ERA will be over 9 now. Not too far off from his St. Bonaventure ERA of 14.9. And the first hitter in this inning for the Americans will be Chris Gazaldo, the shortstop. Came into this game batting .444. He was now down to 400 as he's over 1 on the day. Gazaldo, one of 5 Panola College players on this team. Here with some of his fellow middle infield teammates, including Brady Bowles. But Gazaldo, the better performer of the two over at Panola, batted .370 with a .925 OPS. Bowles has yet to make his Americans debut. Pitch from Catney-Forbes up the middle, swing and a miss for strike 1. And some good speed by Catney-Forbes there to get Gazaldo hacking. The 0-1 outside to even up the count. Catney-Forbes, no runners to check right now as Gazaldo leads off the top of the 4th inning. Down the third base line for the base hit. And as Briggs chases after it, could be a double. Gazaldo coming in, and they'll tag him out in time. So Gazaldo tagged out at second. He'll get the single, but out at second on the throw. And Gazaldo thought he could have a double there, but Briggs getting to it in time. The rocket throw to record the out.
Now batting number 36, Evan Core.
And Evan Core will come up to bat with no runners on as an unfortunate turn of events on Gazaldo. Swing and miss for strike 1 by Core. Hopefully that's not a momentum killer for the Americans, but they do have a 4-0 lead. So a bit of insurance already. Ground ball gets past the third baseman, Bedrosian. Can Core beat out the shortstop? No! A rocket throw once again, this time by Carter Shin after the miss by Bedrosian. So it's good to have backup there over at third base. As the 6-3 ground out it'll go down for. Makes it out number 2 on the Americans. And already Jake Hollins coming up with 2 down.
Number 37, Jake Hollins.
0 for 1 on the day. And looks at the first pitch here from Catney-Forbes. That'll go outside, but catches the left side of the strike zone. Hollins an 0-1 hole, the 300 hitter. 3 for 10 to be exact. Similar spot, but a little further outside for ball 1. Americans up 4-0, 2 down, nobody on. Some great defense so far as that one fouled off for strike 2. The first out came as Gazaldo singled and Briggs completed the throw to tag Gazaldo out at second. He tried for second. And then Core out on a 6-3 ground out that was initially missed by Bryce Bedrosian, the third baseman. Count even at 2 as that one goes in the dirt. 2s across the board. Ball strikes outs. And Jake Hollins steps back in, the second-year vet here for the Americans. Hoping this 2-2 count will go in his favor. Pitch from Catney-Forbes, fouled off as this at-bat continues. And Hollins steps out briefly now, back in after the timeout. Hollins takes a practice stroke. Pitch from Catney-Forbes in the dirt to fill up the count. So a full count and 2 outs here as Catney-Forbes looks to get out of this inning clean. Would be his 4th inning. Lower his ERA to a clean 9. And questions about the count here from Kattni Forbes. So it is indeed a full count. The umpires will confirm that one. Hollins steps in. Payoff pitch from Kattni Forbes, driven into right field. A rocket will get way past Alex Keene off the wall. Hollins should have the stand-up double here. And the Americans will stay alive in the inning as Jake Hollins records his 4th hit of the season. Will drop off his batting gloves with the manager, Will Cordero, coming out from the dugout. Visitors dugout on the left side here. And here comes Shane Prey, the number 9 hitter for the Americans. Prey has had an over 1 day thus far. Recorded multiple hits against the Ironbacks yesterday. 2 singles, as well as a walk for him. OPS up to 762 after he pinch hit and did not get on base in the first game of the season. Up the middle by Prey between Cowley and Keene, drops in the gap and tries for another double. The throw will be short. Run will score. So the runner on second, and the run comes in on the second straight double by the Americans. It's 5-0 as Shane Prey drives in Jake Hollins with the RBI double. 2 consecutive doubles, the first one going off the wall, the second one falling in the gap between Cowley and Keene to bring up the number 10 hitter in this Americans lineup, Connor Kiefer. Kiefer hit a high fly ball into right field for his first Americans at bat, so he's 0 for 1 as there's a meeting on the mound with Kattni Forbes with the pitching coach Mike Nightingale. We'll see if Kattni Forbes sticks it out here. And for now, Kattni Forbes will hang in there.
Now batting number 1, Connor
has given up 5 runs to these Niagara Falls Americans in just 4 innings. If the Americans keep up with this rate, they could be done with this one in 8. There's a 10 after 7 mercy rule in the PGCBL. Kattni Forbes checks the runner at second in Prey. That one hops past Bedrosian for the base hit. And Kiefer will try for second on the errant throw, but Prey will hold up at third. So 2 runners in scoring position as Kiefer gets the hit there. We'll wait for the ruling from our official scorer. On whether that will go down as a single or double. It will go down as a double here at George Taylor Field. So the 3rd straight double gets Prey to third. And now the manager, Richard Griffin, coming out. This might be it for Kattni Forbes. Yes, it is. He'll walk to the dugout. 3 2/3 strong for him here today, but gave up 5 runs. It's a new pitcher here for the Ironbacks. We'll get you word on who that is in just a moment, but it'll be back to the top of the order here for the Americans with Grant Moore. A 2 for 2 day for him thus far. We'll get to face a reliever with 2 runners in scoring position despite 2 down. And that reliever.
New pitcher coming in, number 22, Caden Wilson.
That reliever will be number 26, which is J.J. Reynolds, as we expected. Reynolds was expected to be the first pitcher out of the pen, and indeed he will be. Product of Indian Hills Community College. He finished his sophomore year there just now, had a 2.38 ERA and 3 strikeouts. played in the Canadian Nationals a few years back. He struggled in those, but has turned around his career since then at Indian Hills Community College. We'll see how he does here in the PGCBL, but he's entered into a tough situation. Yes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning, but Grant Moore coming up to face him with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Kiefer doubled. He's on 2nd. Shane Prey to 3rd. So Kiefer and Prey on base for Grant Moore. Grant Moore, a 2-for-2 day thus far. 2 singles, 3 stolen bases. So this game could get out of hand very quickly if J.J. Reynolds is not able to retire him for the first time today. That's a tricky situation to be in. I do not envy J.J. Reynolds out on the mound right now. The right-hander warming up with catcher Connor Gatens as Grant Moore will step into the batter's box.
Now batting for the Americans, number 25, Grant Moore.
So Moore, as I mentioned, a 2-for-2 day. His batting average over 600 now for these Americans. Moore readies for the first pitch. That'll catch the outside edge for strike 1. Reynolds off to a strong start here. But a 5-0 lead for the Americans. 2 more runs in scoring position. That one just too far outside. A similar spot further outside for ball 1. So the count evens up to help out Grant Moore here with 2 down. Pitch coming from J.J. Reynolds. Soft one into the hands of Reynolds. Will be the quick out at first, and J.J. Reynolds will get the Ironbacks out of the jam here without number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Americans strain 2, but score 1 in this top of the 4th.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
We are back in the bottom of the 4th inning. Americans up 5-0 as J.J. Reynolds now pitching for the Niagara Ironbacks. He recorded the final out for them, but the Ironbacks come up to bat to face Austin Barton now. It'll be Andrew Bishop, Devin Medor, and Keanu Cali on the docket for the Ironbacks. And this season, you can connect with the Niagara Falls Americans like never before with exclusive content on our social media platforms. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Those @ are on your screen right now.
That is correct.
We'll give it a moment here, but J.J. Reynolds just entered the game to record the final out for the Ironbacks. So that brings us into the bottom of the 4th as Andrew Bishop comes up to bat. Bishop, the .250 hitter headed into this game, takes ball 1 outside. And Barton delivers on the second pitch to Bishop fouled off for strike one. Bishop on the day is 0 for 1. That further lowered his batting average. Outside for ball 2, and the count is in Bishop's favor now. Austin Barton, 3 scoreless innings. Has had a handful of strikeouts in those innings as well. Another one outside for the 3rd ball. And Barton up to 3 total strikeouts in 3 innings, but that one will be ball 4. So his 2nd walk of the game given up to Andrew Bishop, who gets on base for the first time today. Devin Medore up next for the Ironbacks. He's playing second for the 2nd consecutive night. Stands at 1 for 1 rather. Had a fly ball single in his first time around, but takes ball 1 low in the dirt with Bishop on first base. Barton will look back at Bishop as he returns to the hill. For the Americans, now Bishop getting a slight lead over there. Pitch to Medore. Driven into left center field. Will that drop in the gap? No, it is caught by Jake Hollins for out number 1. The runner will hold at first base, so it's 1 on, 1 out for the 3rd batter who is due up in this inning, Keanu Cowley. That goes down as the F8 in Jake Hollins' glove. Gotta give Cowley some credit here. Maybe my favorite walk-up song I've heard at any PGCBL ballpark yet. This is workout music for me. But Keanu Cowley taking the pitch in the low corner of the strike zone for strike 1. Barton looks over at a Bishop at first base who now has a lead. Infielders in pretty normal position, no shift here as ball 1 goes outside. Harper, or rather pass catching today, shifting over. Harper's the extra hitter, excuse me. And Keanu Cowley stepping back into the batter's box with an even count. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Bishop making his way back to first base. Right next to the first baseman, Graydon Miller. He's ready for a potential tag there as Bishop gets another lead. Not playing around at first base. That one at the helmet of Keanu Cowley to even up the count once again at 2. Different spot than a lot of these other pitches for Barton. He's worked Cowley well with a diversifying arsenal of pitches. Breaking ball inside for the ball 3 to fill up this count. And payoff pitch will be on the way in just a moment from Austin Barton as he checks Bishop once again. Miller has got his foot on the base. Outside, ball 4, and it's 2 runners on for the Ironbacks. Barton has walked both of them, so now an even number of walks and strikeouts here, 3 each given up. 3 each by Austin Barton in this game. As Bedrosian comes up for the 2nd time today. He's 0 for 1 with the strikeout in the 2nd inning. Barton clarifying some things with Nick Past as he begins pitching to Bedrosian. The outside strike catches the edge of the zone right over the righty batter's box. As Bedrosian steps back in, it's his 2nd start for the Ironbacks, but 3rd game he pinch hit last night, late in the game, way inside for the ball. And Bishop was getting leads at first before, now getting leads at 2nd, as well as Cowley, the runner at first. 2 ducks on the pond and 1 down. As Bedrosian gets the bat back over his shoulder. Barton checks the runner, then throws outside, a little off target for ball 2. Barton got to make sure he's not distracted by the runner, Bishop. Gazaldo and Kiefer hanging close by the base. Now Kiefer stretching out a little bit between first and second, but Gazaldo would likely be the guy to tag out Bishop if there's any funny business over at second base. Check swing. Not even a bite by the umpires. So it's a 3-1 count in Bedrosian's favor with 1 down and 2 on. A walk here would load the bases, get Barton in trouble that he hasn't seen since the second inning. Inside ball 4. And the bases will indeed load up. 4th walk given up by Barton. As Grayson Briggs, the final hitter in this Ironbacks lineup, comes up to bat for the second time today. He's 1 for 1. And a meeting on the mound with Coach Will Cordero. Barton will come out of this game after 3 1/3. Austin Barton, not necessarily a guy who has seen long innings that often in his SUNY Niagara career, so this is not too big a surprise. It'll be Carmen Panaro coming in relief for the Americans. And Panaro, primarily an outfielder, but he has had his fair share of pitching appearances at Niagara University. He's looking to improve his pitching game, become a full two-way player here for the Americans. And he is a lefty batter, will also pitch lefty here. So the southpaw coming in for the lefty on lefty matchup with Grayson Briggs. And Carmen Panaro, his first pitching appearance as an American, started the first game of the season in right field. Some great defense there, including a diving catch. But now coming in to pitch. The product of Niagara University here with a few of his Niagara teammates, C.J. Hurley and Carter Hall, also members of this Americans pitching staff. Ian Huang, an infielder for the team. He's transferring out, but he did spend his freshman year over at Niagara University. Had a great start for these Americans. As Briggs comes up for the Ironbacks, takes ball 1 inside. And Panaro comes into a tough situation. Bases loaded, 1 down. Has to record 2 outs to avoid runs on the board here for the Ironbacks. The pitch from Panaro, grounded to right to Graydon Miller, out at first, but the run will come in, so the RBI ground out. Unassisted by Graydon Miller. Runners advance, and it's 5-1. So Briggs now 1 for 2, but driving in the run with his second time up to the plate. Back up to the top with Carter Shin, who is 0 for 2 on the day, looking to improve upon that. Shin, the shortstop for this team, takes strike 1 on the outside edge of the zone. So now 2 down on these Ironbacks. 2 runners still in scoring position after the run scored. Andrew Bishop coming in. Count evens up at 1. It's Bedrosian on second, Cowley on third. As Panaro throws the 1-1, that's fouled off way back behind the batter into the stands. So Shin fouls it off behind him. Came into this game batting .333. Has improved upon that. Or sorry, that's gone down rather in this game. That evens up the count, and it's ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, so it's 2s across the board here for the Ironbacks. Panaro, the 2-2 pitch, driven up the middle, looks like it may drop for the base hit in front of Jake Hollins. 1 run scores, Hollins bubbles it, so a second comes in, it's 5-3. The Ironbacks not making this easy. A 2-run single given up by Panaro, but both of those runs will be charged to Austin Barton.
Number 15, Marcus Butts.
On the 2-run single by Carter Shin, driving in the last 2 of Barton's original runners, Cowley and Bedrosian. So only runner now at first base as strike 1 catches the low inside corner on Marcus Butts. Now only a 2-run ball game. Americans going to have to watch out. Panaro has a great view of the runner on first. Shin just had the 2-run single as the count evens up at 1. And the lead at first by Shin. He'll take off on the ball, but a hit batsman to make it runners on first and second. Panaro has struggled to keep things in check here. Another runner in scoring position. And Butts, the runner on first, represents the tying run here for these Ironbacks. Keene, coming up now, represents the go-ahead run. Panaro with 2 down, has some traffic to check on. Checks back at second. Big lead, but strike 1 on the outside low corner for Alex Keene. Keene, a very capable hitter. 1 for 2 on the day, a .309 hitter over at Morehead State. Came into this game batting .286. Panaro swung and missed on by Alex Keene, so now he's 1 strike away from putting this inning under wraps and avoiding further damage. Ironbacks down 2 right now. Americans don't want to change that. 3 runs have scored all in this inning for Niagara. Swing and a miss. Down goes Alex Keene for the strikeout. We'll head to the top of the 5th after this. And Panaro avoids further damage, but 3 runs given up to the Ironbacks. It's 5-3 as we head to the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the 5th inning. Brought to you by Tropical Heating and Cooling. Call 716-870-0753 for expert service. Tropical Heating and Cooling, your sponsor for this 5th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network. As J.J. Reynolds settles in for his first full inning of work out of the pen here. And in that bottom of the 4th, the Ironbacks scored 3 runs, all charged to Barton, despite Carmen Panaro coming in out of the pen. And up to bat first for the Americans here will be Dalton Harper. The extra hitter grounds that to Bedrosian at third. Throw across the field will be in time for the out. So Dalton Harper goes down for the second time today. Makes him, or rather the first time today, makes him 0 for 1. And the first pitch on Graydon Miller outside for ball 1. The pitch fouled off into right field to even up the count. So even count on Graydon Miller with 1 out. One's across the board. J.J. Reynolds throws outside for ball 2. Graydon Miller 0 for 1 on the day. He walked earlier. Drives that into right field. That'll go to the right of the foul pole to even up the count at 2. And Miller steps back into the batter's box. J.J. Reynolds hoping to retire a second straight batter. In there for strike 3. He got Miller for his first strikeout of the day. And Reynolds looking good so far out of the pen here for the Ironbacks. Nick Past up next with 2 down.
Up next for the Americans, number 20, Nick Past. Nick Past.
And here comes Nick Past, the number 4 hitter in this Americans lineup with the bases empty. Takes ball 1 outside. First 2 batters were retired on a ground out from third to first and a strikeout looking for Graydon Miller. And now the 1-0 count, a swing and miss evens it up. Reynolds looking to get out of this inning 1-2-3. He has been seamless so far. Pitch goes down the middle, swing and miss again. He's flame throwing out here. And Reynolds could be a reliable option out of the pen here for the Ironbacks moving forward if he's able to keep this up. That will go just outside to even up the count at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on the catcher Past. Connor Gatens, the Ironbacks' own catcher, in position. That goes inside on the curving ball 3. Full count now on Past. First payoff pitch of the day for Reynolds on the way in just a moment here. Here it comes. Outside, and Past will get ball 4 to keep this inning. Excuse me, that was just ball 3. My apologies there. They will call things off. That's ball 4. And the walk of Nick Past to keep this inning alive for the Americans and break up the perfect pitching by J.J. Reynolds. His first 3 batters retired consecutively between the 4th and 5th innings, and now Delanto up for the Americans. He's 1 for 2. Ball 1 in the dirt. As scurrying back to first is Nick Past. Delanto gets ready for the 1-0 from J.J. Reynolds. He nods, delivers, sent into right field, foul territory. Keene chasing after it, but not even close. So the 1-1 count as Past heads back to first base. He had the lead before this. And here's Delanto looking for his second hit of the evening here. As we're about 2 hours into the ball game here in the top of the 5th. Low and away for ball 2. Delanto came into this game batting .500. He's 1 for 2, so still batting .500. One of the better averages on this Americans team. There's a reason he's the DH. The 2-1. Grounded down the third base line. Foul to even up the count. Reynolds looking to retire his 4th batter of his day. As Delanto gets set for the 2-2 pitch. Reynolds delivers outside. Fills up the count for the 2nd straight time. Reynolds, the one thing he's struggled with, throwing a lot of pitches. I got the ball for you now. But a 3-2 count on Delanto. As Past has a lead at first base. He'll go on the payoff pitch. Fouled off, he'll have to run back. And getting ready for the full count pitch from J.J. Reynolds is Paul Delanto. Now a timeout taken by the batter. Thank you. Delanto. Full count, 2 outs, big moment. Reynolds delivers, pass goes, line down the right field line, foul again. And Paul Delanto is really working this full count. We're approaching double-digit pitchers here as Delanto gets to Reynolds on this full count. And Nick Past probably getting tired out running back between 2nd and 1st as that whacks Paul Delanto. This time Past won't have to go back. The inning continues. 2 on and 2 down for the approaching Chris Gazaldo, the number 6 hitter in this Americans lineup. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Americans today. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Ironbacks. And a lot of walks, hit batsmen by these Ironbacks. Reynolds, who had a clean first 3 outs, now struggling with these next couple of batters here. But strike 1 on Gazaldo down the pike. He will not bite. The 0-1 coming soon as Reynolds checks the runner at 2nd. Driven up the middle. That'll get between into the gap for the base hit. And coming all the way home is Nick Past to score. So it is now 6-3 in the favor of the Americans. Runners still at 1st and 2nd as Gazaldo drives in pass with the RBI single between the gap of Mador and Shin. And Reynolds with his first earned run of his day. Walked a batter, hit a batter, and then gave up the single to Gazaldo. And this has escalated quickly here as Core steps into the batter's box. 6th batter of the inning here for the Americans with 2 on and 2 out. And Gazaldo had the single up the middle in the same situation. Reynolds checks the runner at 2nd in Delanto. Strike 1. Slightly inside, but catches the zone easily. And fielders moving, runners moving. Line down the right field line, that'll go foul. There's been a lot of those pitches opposite field past the right field foul pole. 2 strikes and 2 down on Evan Core. So J.J. Reynolds 1 strike away from stranding 2 on base for the Americans. with the 3-run deficit. He checks the runner at second in Delanto, then delivers outside for the ball. 6-3 Americans now. They scored run number 6 in this inning. A lot more consistent than their 7-piece in their first game. They've had consistent scoring ever since. This offense has been excellent. The pitch will go in the dirt. Runners go as it gets away from the catcher, Gatens. The wild pitch advances both runners into scoring position. So now it's Gazaldo on second, Delanto on third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. As Evan Core keeps swinging at him in the right-handed batter's box. This right-on-right matchup with J.J. Reynolds, who had a strong start to his evening, but it's gotten out of hand pretty quick here. Driven into left field, and Briggs is not even close to that one. Now will go off the wall. The stand-up double will drive in 2 more runs for the Americans.
Now batting number 37, Jake.
So it's now 8-3 Americans into double-digit hits. And it'll bring up Jake Hollins as Evan Core drives in his second and third RBIs of the season with a 2-run double. 3 runs in the inning now for the Americans. As Jake Hollins comes up for the 3rd time today, he's 1 for 2 and has a runner at second that Reynolds will have to check back on. Fly ball, left field. Briggs will have that one. Oh, no, he drops it. A misplay by Briggs. He's struggled a bit out there. And the advance to second on the error will drive in another run for the Americans. It's 9-3. So a unearned run right there, but a 4th given up in this inning on the error. As Evan Core comes in to score after the double. And Jake Hollins now the runner on second for the 8th batter in the inning, Shane Prey.
Now batting number 24, Shane
So this is all with 2 outs. Reynolds struck out Miller. And Harper grounded out. My apologies. They will rule that a double as well. So 2 straight doubles. That's the 11th hit of the day for the Americans. The pitch driven into right field. That'll drop for another hit. Prey will hold up at first, but another run coming in for the Americans. It's 10-3. And this has just been a rough one for J.J. Reynolds in this 5th inning. My goodness, this has escalated quickly.
Now batting number 1, Connor.
We don't have live ERA here, but gotta wonder what it's looking like now for J.J. Reynolds. He's given up 5 runs in just 1 inning pitched. Looking to make it 1 1/3 here and retire Connor Kiefer. That'll get in for strike 1 with 2 down. And Reynolds checks the runner at first in the form of Shane Prey, who just had the RBI single. That goes outside in the dirt for ball 1, but Prey will not run off there. Is a 3rd baseman, but also catches. Grant Moore leads this team in stolen bases with 3. He's the only batter who hasn't shown up in this inning yet. That'll go in for another ball. So a 2-1 count after a single, a double, and a single to drive in 5 more runs for the Americans, double their score High fly ball into, that'll be more of a pop-up in the end, caught by Shin for out number 3. We'll send it to the 6th inning after this. The bottom of the 5th, my apologies. We'll be right back. Midway through this game, Americans lead it 10-3. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the bottom of the 5th inning, it'll be Briggs, and then the top of the order, Shin and Butts, due up here for the Ironbacks.
The catcher, number 11, Connor Gatons.
Or excuse me, my apologies. This is Connor Gatons coming up. To account for the 2 batters that Carmen Panaro faced at the end of that inning, or rather 4 batters. But Connor Gatons, the cleanup hitter in this Ironbacks lineup. 1 ball on him, and another. Carmen Panaro will keep pitching after coming in for Austin Barton in the 4th inning. And Connor Gatons batting .500. Takes that one way inside for another ball. Panaro. This is a 2-1 count, my apologies, but looking to find his command back and finds it there on the swing and miss for strike 2. Gatons, as I mentioned, came into this game batting .500. 0 for 2 today, though. Takes it low to full up the count. Americans up 10-3 after a 5-run top of the 5th. The payoff pitch in there. Strike 3 on Connor Gatons. And a lot of these guys have gone down looking today. But it'll be 1 down.
Number 10, Andrew Bishop.
And it'll be Andrew Bishop coming up to bat here for the Ironbacks. Bishop 0 for 1 with a walk. Made it all the way home on that walk. And 1 strike on him. Panaro. Another one called for a strike on the outside corner of the strike zone. So he's in an 0-2 hole here. Swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout. Carmen Panaro is on fire in this bottom of the... And up comes Devin Medor as Panaro attempts to strike out the side.
Second baseman, number 7, Devin Medor.
Medor is 1 for 2. Had the fly ball single in the second inning. Retired since then. And now comes up for the third time today. Another high fly ball into center field. Hollins coming towards this one will make the catch to wrap up the inning. So Pinar will not strike out the side, but he'll get his third out pretty quickly. We'll be right back after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the sixth, and this sixth inning is sponsored by Chris Robins, Niagara County Legislator, by Local Laborers 91, and by Wegmans. That's going to be a bunt by Grant Moore to back to the top of the order. The error made, and Moore will head around to second base. He's going to round third now. So all the way to third on the error by the Niagara Ironbacks to lead off this inning.
Now batting number 18, Dalton Harper.
And Dalton Harper coming up to bat now. The number 2 hitter in this lineup, looking for his first hit of the season, pop up. Headed right down to Gatens, who makes the catch. So Gatens makes up for his error before. And now here comes Graydon Miller. Rather, it was an error by the first baseman before. So. Graydon Miller coming up to bat now with the runner on third. Takes ball 1 outside. Reynolds sets for the 1-0 pitch. Another one outside for ball 2. And Miller going to drive that past Medor for the base hit into the outfield. In to score with ease. Doesn't even have to run, really, is Graham Moore. And Moore, he advanced to third on the error. It's paying off now. On the RBI single by Graydon Miller to make this an 11-3 ball game for the Americans.
Now batting number 20, Nick Pass.
And Nick passed. Up now, the catcher. Pop up. Now that'll be fouled off. So the 0-1 on pass, the catcher. Next to the Ironbacks catcher, of course, Connor Gatens. In there down the middle for strike 2. And pass doesn't bite. And Nick passed. 1 for 3 on the day. Looking to expand on that. Swing and a miss here, though. And that's out number 1 on the pass. Strikeout. Got the Yankees strikeout horn here at George Taylor Field. An interesting choice. And Paul Delanto coming up to bat. He's 1 for 2. Had a walk in the 5th inning. Part of that 5-run explosion by the Americans. Fouls, strike 1 off. I mean, there was a stretch there. There was a hit batsman. Then Delanto walked. And then the hits started coming in to score 5 runs off of Reynolds, who is still pitching. Check swing. It's called a strike. So the 0-2 hole now for Delanto, whose average would drop below 500 if he's retired here. And runner advancing, swing and a miss. Strike 3 on Delanto. It's 2 consecutive strikeouts. That ends the inning. And we will be right back with the bottom of the 6th.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We are back for the bottom of the 6th inning. And fans, do you or someone you know have a birthday coming up? Why not spend it with the Americans? Packages include 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, customized Wegmans cake, autographed Americans baseballs, and special recognition at the game starting at just $175. Go to NiagaraFallsAmericans.com for more, as that one is flown into left field for a quick out. Number 1, Evan Core making the catch. Those birthdays sponsored by Wegmans and Sammy's Pizza. Thank you to them. But 1 down already here for the Ironbacks. Keanu Cali retired for the first out, as Bryce Bedrosian will come up in this bottom of the 6th. And Bedrosian is 0 for 1 on the day, but drove in a run with the ground out. Or rather scored a run on a hit by pitch, ground ball picked up by Prey, throws across the diamond, gets there in time for out number 2. And Bryce Bedrosian goes down. Already 2 quick outs for Carmen Panaro, who keeps pitching into this 6th inning. And here comes a pinch hitter for the Niagara Ironbacks. Chase Hubble will fill in for Grayson Briggs. Hubble, his first at bat today, of course, but batting .250 on the season with a .750 OPS. He takes ball 1 low and steps back into the batter's box to face Carmen Panaro in the left-on-right matchup. That one outside for the ball 2. So Panaro trying to climb out of a hole here, but already 3 balls on Chase Hubble. And that'll be a 4-pitch walk to continue the inning for the Ironbacks after 2 quick outs by Panaro. And the Americans had a very similar situation to this in that 5th inning where they ended up scoring 5 runs. J.J. Reynolds got 2 quick outs and then a bunch of 2-out runs. A hit batsman, a walk, and then a single, double, double, single to drive in the runs. See if the Ironbacks can answer back here in the bottom of the 6th. Takes strike 1 on the inside corner. And it's an 0-1 count as Panaro checks the runner at first briefly. That one a little further inside for ball 1. Americans have had 12 hits, 11 runs on them. So capitalizing on all their hits, ball 2, so a 2-1 count. As Panaro keeps pitching to the leadoff hitter, Carter Shin, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Inside, ball 3. And Panaro, payoff pitch, that goes in for the strike. Rather, that was not the payoff pitch, but gets to a full count right here. So this will be the payoff pitch coming up. Runner goes, ground ball. Prey picks it up. And out at first to wrap up this inning. We will be right back with the top of the 7th after these messages.
You know, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
back for the top of the 7th inning here. And this 7th inning is sponsored by Elks Lodge of USA, Bikers Against Child Abuse, the Stalka Agency, and Red Robin. So we've got Chris Gazaldo starting off the inning for the Niagara Falls Americans here, as J.J. Reynolds continues to pitch. Gazaldo takes another ball low. And ground ball, line drive rather, into right field for the base hit. Gazaldo is on base to start us off here in this 7th inning.
Now batting for the Americans, number 36, Evan Moore.
And here comes Evan Core, the number 7 hitter in this Americans lineup. Runner checked at first as Core steps back in. The pitch on the way from Reynolds. First one to Core. It's outside for ball 1, in the dirt as well. So Gazaldo got on with the single to start the inning. There's nobody out. Evan Core looking to advance him, hopefully into scoring position. And the check at first is unsuccessful on ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes here on Evan Core. Reynolds had a very rough inning, giving up 5 runs a couple innings ago, but he's toughing it out here. They need innings here on this Ironbacks team. Small roster. And ball 3 taken outside. Evan Core with the 3-0 count. Runner checked at first base once again. Reynolds has had his eyes on him throughout the inning thus far. Gazaldo has a bit of a lead once again. He'll start to get away as strike 1 comes in on the low edge of the strike zone. Niagara Falls Americans looking for their 14th hit of the day. That's grounded up the middle, out at second, just in time, but the error at first base, and now both runners going, or rather Gazaldo's already out, but Core going into second safely on the error. And on the fielder's choice, the error gets Core to second. As Jake Hollins comes up now with a runner in scoring position. If the Americans score 2 more in this inning and then can hold off the Ironbacks in the bottom of the 7th, they would win this game on the mercy rule. So that's something to look out for in these final few innings. Hollins fouls it off behind him for strike 1. Reynolds getting ready for the next pitch here. Checks the runner at second, and that is outside for ball 2. Sorry, ball 1. It's a 1-1 count. Jake Hollins getting back into stance as Core takes the lead back at second. Reynolds gets ready to deliver on the even count. Ground ball down the first base line. Tag for the first base out, but the runner advances. And it's 2 down, runner on third for the Americans. Coming up now is Shane Prey, the third baseman.
Americans, number 24,
And Prey is 2 for 3 on the day, his second consecutive 2-hit game. After the out at first by Jake Hollins, and that's a ground ball to the shortstop. And off the bag, but gets the tag. Out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 7th after this on the 6-3 ground out. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We come back to you in the bottom of the 7th, and the Americans would love to partner with your business. The Americans have lots of options to make your presence known in the community. Please visit their website at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com and to get involved. Go Americans! So we got 7th inning stretch here, hence the fan right here, but warming up to pitch is Tommy Mathay. Typically an outfielder over at Panola, but will make his Americans pitching debut. And actually his Americans debut overall today on the mound here. We'll give you another look here at the PGCBL standings while we wait. The Newark Pilots in first place, tied with the Americans as well, and the Doubledays all undefeated. Pioneers, Ironbacks, and Geneva Red Wings in the basement all winless, and then the Tarp Skunks at 2-2 in fifth, or rather the Muck Dogs, and then the Tarp Skunks in fourth at 3-1. The Americans will face the Tarp Skunks next. That one will be on Sunday at Sal Magley Stadium, as Marcus Butts comes up to start out this bottom of the 7th inning here and takes ball 1 low. Tommy Mathay, his Americans debut, a .296 hitter as an outfielder for Panola. Ground ball, diving play by Prey, throws across the field, gets there in time for out number 1. And Marcus Butts has been a victim of Shane Prey multiple times in this home and home. Shane Prey has been unbelievable, and Marcus Butts has been the butt of his great defense on multiple occasions. A crazy last-minute throw to end the 8th inning last night from Prey to Miller. Retired Marcus Butts yesterday. And now Alex Keene up to bat, fouling off strike 1. Alex Keene 1 for 3 on the day. A slight uptick to his .286 batting average coming in here today. Another one in the dirt for ball 1. Mathay off to a strong start pitching here for the Americans. Sets, delivers, swing and a miss for strike 2. And the Americans may have found a new stud for their bullpen if he keeps this up. Mathay looking for strike 3 right here on the 1-2 count. Delivers, swing and a miss. Down goes Alex Keene. That's not an easy batter to retire, and he's been struck out twice tonight.
Now batting for your Ironbacks.
Connor Gayton's coming up now as Mathay looks for the 1-2-3. As Tommy Mathay makes his Americans pitching debut. The pitch from Mathay fouled off into the gate behind home plate by Connor Gayton's. 1 strike on him. And just 2 more needed to wrap up the inning for Mathay. Mathay getting ready for the 0-1 pitch. Sets, delivers. And that goes inside, bounces around for ball 1. Nobody on, so not too much concern right there. Mathay with an even count. Pitching to the righty, Connor Gaytons. Mathay, a left-hander himself, throws ball 2 to the opposite-handed Gaytons. Gaytons came into this game batting .500, 0 for 3 on the day. And that is popped up foul. No, that'll be caught. My apologies there.
This inning is presented by Holiday
We will head to the bottom, or rather the top of the 8th inning, coming right up.
the Niagara Ironbacks and the go-to spot for out-of-town fans.
Ever
to
dreamed
kick
of
back.
playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Welcome back for the 8th inning. And this 8th inning is sponsored by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, the official casino of the Americans. More winning, more comfort, more entertainment. Go to SenecaNiagaraCasino.com for more. Sponsored last night's fireworks. Some exciting stuff happening over at Sal Magley for the home opener, but we've got a call to the bullpen. That's why we bring you back early here. The Ironbacks will turn to Eli Thompson after a few innings of J.J. Reynolds. So Reynolds gave up 6 runs to the Americans. Thompson making his Ironbacks debut. Plays for Bismarck State. 3.46 ERA over there, 13 punch-outs. We'll see what he can do to temper these Americans who already have an 8-run lead. You let them get 2 more, this game could be mercied. They weren't able to mercy him in 7, but could do it in 8. As due up, they will have the trio of Connor Kiefer, Grant Moore, and Dalton Harper. Quite a trio right there. Connor Kiefer, 1 for 3 on the day. Moore is 2 for 4. Harper 0 for 2, but with a walk. Was also hit. So Harper has reached base twice today. A multi-year vet of this Americans team, the brother of last year's broadcaster, Carson Harper. I'd like to thank Carson for all the support he's been able to provide me in getting this broadcast ready to go for game day all through this week and through the rest of the American season. Thompson warming up with catcher Connor Gaytons, who remains in the game for the Ironbacks. And Thompson will get ready to face Connor Kiefer. Kiefer, his first hit of the season for the Americans was a double in that big 5th inning. a very capable hitter over at Alfred State, and already off to a start that trumps his Jamestown numbers from last season. Kiefer playing second for the Americans tonight. Takes strike one low. As some fans return to their seats from concessions here. Thompson delivers, and that is grounded to the Ironbacks' own shortstop, Shin. Makes it to first base in time for the out. Bishop putting out Connor Kiefer for out number one. So the 6-3 ground out will retire Kiefer. He's now 1 for 4 on the day. And Grant Moore comes up to bat. Started off this game with consecutive singles, steals, and has scored a couple of runs in this game as well. Moore, fly ball into the gap, left center field, but coming under it is Chase Hubble to make the catch. Looked like that had a chance to drop, but now 2 batters down as Eli Thompson off to a very strong start here. But, I mean, J.J. Reynolds had a quick 2 outs as well, and you saw what happened to him. If you've been watching this game, it was once only a 2-run difference between these Americans and Ironbacks. They scored 5 off of Reynolds in the 5th inning, added another to make it 11-3. And Dalton Harper, hoping to expand on this further, takes strike one down the pike from Eli Thompson. Thompson, his first 2 outs clean here for the Ironbacks, his first 2 outs of the season for them. As another strike low, Harper takes. Harper been very patient, almost maybe too patient here. Yet to record a hit on the season, but he's walked, got a hit. Has not swung in this at bat. We'll see if he does here. Check swing, but they will say he did not go. Ball 1 on Harper. Nobody on, and 2 down. As Dalton Harper keeps swinging. Well, hasn't swung yet, but we'll see. And there's strike 3. He finally swings on one. Maybe the patience was the right move, but we'll head to the bottom of the 8th after these messages.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Bottom of the 8th inning here from George Taylor Field. And we'd like to remind everyone that an Americans great game is a great way to bring your group together, whether it's a school, church, business, or youth sports organization. The Americans are also able to offer great options and even picnics for your organization or business. Reserve your group online at www.niagarafallsamericans.com. We also have a call to the bullpen for the Americans.
First baseman, number 10, Andrew Bishop.
Matthew Kasperwitz coming in to pitch. And as you heard over the loudspeaker, it's Andrew Bishop he'll face first alongside Devin Medor and Keanu Cowley. So this game is out of mercy rule territory as the Americans will next bat in the 9th inning, but nonetheless, a very strong lead for Niagara Falls. They lead 11-3. Ironbacks will have to start to cut into this soon if they want a chance to win. Otherwise, they'll go to 0-3, and the Americans will go to 3-0. Andrew Bishop is 0 for 2 on the day. But, I mean, a 365 hitter in JUCO, he could be of some help. Takes ball 1 outside as Nick Pass moves for it. Kasperwitz, the 4th different pitcher in for the Americans. Pop up. Prey chasing after it in foul territory. Dives. That is out of play. It's 11-3. As I mentioned earlier, Americans out hitting the Ironbacks 14-5. Kasperwitz gets ready to deliver on the 1-1 in the dirt for another ball. 2 balls, 1 strike, the ump confirms as Matt Kasperwitz gets ready to throw his 4th pitch of the game. Facing his first batter, that's an outside ball 3. It's a right-on left matchup that Bishop should have the advantage in, and he has the hitter-friendly count already here. Pitch from Kasperwitz is in for ball 4. In that similar spot outside over the righty batter's box. And here comes the righty now, Devin Mador. Should be a better matchup for Kasperwitz, but with a runner on, nothing will be easy. And Matthew Kasperwitz, this is an Americans debut, but familiar with a lot of players on the team. Played over at SUNY Niagara, where he struck out 5. Ground ball, Kiefer tags for the out at second, and that'll be the double play. Kiefer throws it to first, gets 2 outs. Wow, Connor Kiefer has played a great second base today.
Center fielder, number 8, Kiana.
As Devin Mador grounds into that 4-3 double play. And here's Keanu Cali, hoping to keep the Ironbacks alive in this inning. Strike 1, finds the low corner of the zone. Kasperwitz sets, delivers the 0-1. Driven down the third baseline, foul for strike 2. So Kasperwitz now 1 strike away from quickly making his way out of this inning in the minimum number of batters faced. Cowley has played center field all day long and all season long for the Ironbacks. And that one whacks him. So another runner on base. And it's back to square 1 here for Matt Kasperwitz. But the good news is he has 2 outs. Thanks to that Connor Kiefer double play. As they like to call it, the pitcher's best friend, the double play. And Bryce Bedrosian coming up to bat here. The third baseman on the day has yet to record a hit. He's yet to record a hit on the season for the Ironbacks. That's in for strike 1. Great defensive third baseman, but hasn't been able to get the same results on the offensive side of the ball. And Kasperwitz checks back, now delivers low for ball 1. As Bedrosian steps back into the batter's box, the lefty facing a 1-1 count. 385 over at Bismarck State, but we'll see if he can replicate that success here as an Ironback.
Granger, number 20.
My apologies. We've had a pinch hitter all along here. As the public address announces, Brock Granger into bat. That gets in for strike 2. It's an even count on Granger. So Granger stepping in here with the 2-2 count. looking to take advantage of this matchup here. The pitch up the middle. Fly ball caught for out number 3. That'll be it for the 8th inning. We'll be back for the final inning of play here. Americans lead 11-3. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the top of the 9th inning. And your Niagara Falls Americans are sponsored in this 9th inning by Casella, Salino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Ripe Beverages, providing all alcoholic beverages to Sal Magley Stadium every game. So Thompson still in pitching for the Ironbacks in this top of the 9th. And first up, he will face the catcher, Nick Past. Or rather, Graydon Miller first up, then Past. Similar looks here with the mustaches. Miller drives that into right field for out number 1. And the fly out to right field will retire Graydon Miller. Paul Delanto coming out to get his bat. And here's Nick Past, the catcher. And Past, the nod from Thompson as he throws the first pitch to him. Outside for the ball. Nick Past on the day is 1 for 3. Came in here with a .400 batting average. That's now down to .375. Swing and a miss for strike 1. So Past 3 for 8 on the season for that batting average. The cleanup hitter was unable to deliver with the bases loaded early, but he's had a good game since. 2 balls, 1 strike on him. Eli Thompson continues pitching for the 2nd consecutive inning. Ironbacks have only used 3 pitchers today. The first 2 were Katney Forbes and Reynolds, swinging a miss. As the count evens up at 2. Past adjusting his batting gloves. Stepping back into the batter's box with this 2-2 count. And 1 down. And that is driven into right field quickly, but coming in for out number 2 is Alex Keene. He's had his workout for him in this inning. Both outs have been caught by Keene, 1 on a flyout, 1 on more of a line drive. But it'll bring up Paul Delanto, the DH. Number 5 hitter in this Americans lineup. 1 for 3 today. 3 total hits on the season thus far. Grounds that up the middle. Thompson will bobble it, but sends it to first in time for out number 3. Americans go 1-2-3. Eli Thompson has been strong in the late game, but can the Ironbacks make a miraculous comeback? We'll see after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We welcome you back for this bottom of the 9th inning as Joe Chaya will relieve Matt Kasperwitz, the southpaw. Had a rough one in his first outing yesterday. Gave up 3 consecutive walks. They ended up coming in for runs, but he'll take another go at these Ironbacks.
Number 27, Chase Hubble.
And Chase Hubble coming up to bat for the Niagara Ironbacks. He pinch hit in the last time up. And on that one, recorded a walk. So his batting average still .250. And Joe Chaya looking to lower his ERA. He had a 3 ERA over at SUNY Niagara, but one of 2 lefties in this bullpen, a valuable asset. As Chase Hubble comes up, ball 1 outside to him. And after Hubble, it'll be 2 consecutive righties. That's probably part of the reason they brought Chaya in here. As he returns to the bump. Chaya delivers. Swing and a miss for the strike by Chase Hubble. Looking to improve upon his .250 batting average. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes on the batter, Hubble. Came in left field for Grayson Briggs. Takes another ball. Low and away. Chaya gets set and delivers. In the dirt for ball 3. That'll fill up the count. Don't want to start off with a walk again. That's all he's done so far on the mound for the Americans. But he's looking to get right here. Get himself in a groove in a 8-run ball game, but that's ball 4. The runner on. Joe Chaya's ERA technically at infinity right now, as he did not record an out in his first appearance. However, the chance to lower it here at George Taylor Field as Carter Shin, the righty, comes up to bat. Strike 1 on him. Swing and a miss, foul behind him. So the foul tip for strike 2 with nobody out. And the runner on first, Chase Hubble, who just walked for the 2nd time today. 0-2 on the way from Joe Chaya right here. Oh, that hits Carter Shin. Appeared to be in the noggin Runners on first and second now, as Joe Chaya has struggled to find command of the strike zone so far this season. And here comes Marcus Butts, the DH, a 286 hitter, headed into the game. 0 for 2 tonight. And another outside pitch for ball one. Strike one outside. So now the count is even. Swing and a miss, and now Joe Chaya has the advantage in the count. He did have this before, though, and hit the batter in the helmet. Butts tries to knock in these two runners on base, fouled off behind him into the stands. Chaya turns around, now gets back into position. And he'll deliver. Another one fouled off, as sirens are sounding to warn the fans in the stands as these foul balls come back. This gate a little lower in height than the netting over at Sal Magley. Pitch by Chaya outside for the ball. It's a 2-2 count, evened up as Butts remains in this at bat. And Chaya checks behind him. And that is driven into left field for the out. Line out into the glove of Grant Moore. That's out number one, and the runners will hold. And here comes Alex Keene. Big opportunity for him. He's 1 for 4 on the day, but a great hitter at D1 Moorhead State, batting over 300. So a big situation for him against a pitcher in Joe Chaya, who has only recorded 1 out over 6 batters faced, and he hits Alex Keene. The bases are loaded. This has been just tough to watch here for Joe Chaya. Second hit batter in this inning. That one on his back. And Nick Pass will now meet with Joe Chaya on the mound. Been a rough weekend for Chaya against these Ironbacks. Three earned runs in a third of an inning.
The catcher, number 11, Connor Gatens.
And here comes Connor Gatens with the bases loaded. A big opportunity. 0 for 4 today after coming into this game, a 500 hitter. See what he's able to do here. Takes it low for ball one. Chaya, the 1-0 pitch. That one on the outside corner, high up for ball two. Joe Chaya's command of the strike zone has been inconsistent. The bases are juiced. And there, it's in the low corner for a strike. Still a hitter's count for Connor Gatens with the bases loaded. Got a slight shift on Gatens, but not too much. Another one low for the ball. A walk here would walk in a run. It'll be the 4th earned run for Joe Chaya in just 0.1 innings pitched over 2 outings. That's in there for the strike. It fills up the count. Some boos in the stadium disagreeing with the ump's call in the low corner. Crowd is up in arms. Swing and a miss. And Joe Chaya recording his first strikeout of the season. 2 down.
Number 10.
The fans are Still a little fired up, but now bases loaded, 2 outs. Andrew Bishop up to bat in a critical situation here for the Niagara Ironbacks. The last gasp of hope. Fly ball. That's going to be more shallow for the pop-up. Shane Prey will make the catch and end the game. The Americans will win 11-3. And be sure to tune in for the next Americans game tomorrow at 4 p.m. It's a home game at Sal Magley Stadium. The Americans will host the Jamestown Tarpskunks. It's getting stinky at Sal Magley Stadium. Tarpskunks will be in town tomorrow. First pitch, 4 p.m. And these now 3-0 Americans will look to stay undefeated against a tough opponent, the 3-1 Jamestown Tarpskunks. But thank you all for tuning in today. This has been Americans Baseball on the Americans Baseball Network. I've been your broadcaster, Andrew Roberts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Final score from George Taylor Field. Niagara Falls 11, Niagara 3. Americans win it by 8.